this is Dr. Liv with Live with New Insight, and thank you for joining me in another video. In today's video, I will be discussing boundaries and consequences. In life, in order to maintain balance, it is imperative to set limits in the form of establishing boundaries. Setting a boundary is not mean, it is not a punishment or arrogance, although others may perceive it as such. In fact, it is the very opposite. Setting a boundary is for your protection of your time, energy, money, resources, personal safety, reputation, love, happiness, and peace. And it says, regardless of how I feel about you, I love and value myself enough to keep myself safe and keep my cup full. When it comes to setting boundaries and enforcing consequences, here are 3 important considerations. Number 1, what are the issues causing problems? Number 2, what are my needs and expectations as it relates to these problems? In other words, what do I need and expect from this person as it relates to addressing and correcting the problem? And number 3, consider what happens if you don't receive a favorable response. And this means, what if the person doesn't listen, doesn't agree with you, doesn't validate your feelings, doesn't think you're being fair, and is unwilling to take accountability, compromise, or change? Ask yourself how you will respond or react, and what will be your next move. This is where setting boundaries and enforcing consequences comes into play. And you must be willing to set a boundary around the specific problem or behavior. For example, boundaries might include: do not yell at me, do not curse at me, do not send inappropriate sexual texts to other people. I would like for you to talk and interact with me and the kids when you come home instead of scrolling in your phone for hours. When setting a boundary, you must be clear and specific, and always make sure you're being reasonable and fair. Next, once you state the boundary, you must then set the consequences. This means identifying what you will do if the behavior or problem continues, and only you can determine this. Think carefully about the short-term and long-term impact of the consequences, and you must be willing to enforce the consequences regardless of the anxiety or fear you might experience, and regardless of the possible outcomes. Consequences might include: I end the conversation with you if you yell or curse at me, and not with anger or attitude, but in a calm and matured manner. If you continue to text other people inappropriately, I'm ending the relationship. If you don't call to check in or say that you'll be late and you continue to stay out late, the kids and I will eat dinner without you, or I will start cooking just enough for the kids and myself if you're never here to be with the family. Setting a consequence can mean making yourself less available or not available, and not in a retaliatory way, but in a way that shows self-respect. When making yourself less available, shift your attention and energy from the problem to doing something constructive and not dwelling on anger, sadness, or anxiety. And if you find that you're making too many shifts and nothing is changing, it may mean shifting out of the situation permanently. Understand that there will always be uncertainty around how the other person will respond to the boundaries and consequences you establish. However, you have to ask yourself, what's the alternative if you don't? Can you continue living with the problem and situation as it is if nothing changes? And if so, at what cost? Setting boundaries is not punishment. It's what you should do in all areas of your life and with all interpersonal relationships. It's self-respect and self-love. And it says that you won't tolerate or accept disrespect or maltreatment from anyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.